chosen one, it's an emergency, and the hour is later than you think. This is not a message meant to entertain the idle mind or soothe the comfortable heart. It is a summons, a trumpet sound in the night, a wake-up call for a generation drifting while believing it is awake. There is a weight in the air, a holy urgency pressing upon the soul, because time has been spent freely, seasons have changed quietly, and many have not discerned what hour it truly is. The earth continues its rhythm, but the Spirit knows something is shifting. The question is not whether you were called, but whether you are listening now. From the beginning, it has always been this way. When the voice of the Lord called in the garden, it was not because the sound could not reach human ears, but because attention had wandered. Where are you? Was not a question of location, but of condition. Genesis 3:9. Even now that same question echoes. Where are you in faith, in obedience, in awareness? Many have assumed they are early, prepared and safe. Yet the word declares that many will say peace and safety, while sudden awakening comes upon them. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. This is why the warning feels sharp. You are not merely late by minutes, you are late by seasons, and mercy is the reason the door is still open. You were not chosen for comfort, but for purpose. Scripture has always revealed that those set apart are often interrupted, displaced, and shaken awake. When the call came to leave familiar ground, it did not arrive with convenience, but with command. Genesis 12:1. The chosen are not exempt from urgency, they are defined by it. Delay has consequences, not because the Lord is harsh, but because obedience is tied to timing. There are assignments that cannot be fulfilled tomorrow because they were meant for today. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Missing the season does not erase the calling, but it does complicate the journey. Look around and consider the signs written plainly. Hearts grow cold while knowledge increases. Matthew 2:12. Noise multiplies, yet wisdom is rare. People run tirelessly, yet without direction. Even those who profess faith are often distracted, treating sacred things casually and eternal matters lightly. The word warns against being hearers only, deceiving ourselves. James 1:22. This message is not against the world alone, it is for those who believe they are standing firm. Let him that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall. 1 Corinthians 10:12. Awakening always begins in the household of faith. You may ask why the tone feels severe, why the urgency presses so hard. It is because love warns before destruction and calls before silence. The prophets did not whisper. When danger approached, they cried aloud. Isaiah 58:1. When the watchman sees the sword and does not blow the trumpet, the blood is required at his hand. Ezekiel 33:6. This is not fear speaking, this is responsibility. The chosen are entrusted with awareness, and awareness demands response. Grace is not permission to sleep, it is power to rise. Many are waiting for a sign while ignoring the instruction already given. The word has not changed, yet obedience has weakened. Ancient paths are dismissed as outdated, though they are described as the good way where rest is found. Jeremiah 6:16. The emergency is not that darkness exists, but that light is hidden under distraction. You were called to be a city set on a hill, not a candle flickering in a closed room. Matthew 5:14-15. Light delayed is light denied to someone else who is searching. Consider how often delay is excused. Tomorrow is promised casually. Yet Scripture reminds us that boasting of tomorrow is foolish because life is but a vapor. James 4:14. The chosen one understands that obedience postponed is obedience denied. When the command came to move, those who moved immediately saw provision on the way. When the instruction was ignored, wandering followed. There is an urgency now because the margin for delay has grown thin. The field is ripe, yet laborers hesitate. Matthew 9:37. This message is not about perfection, it is about surrender. The Lord has never required flawlessness, only faithfulness. What doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly? Micah 6:8. Humility listens when correction comes. Pride assumes there is still time. The chosen one is not defined by title or visibility, but by obedience in hidden places. Heaven measures differently than the world, weighing hearts instead of achievements. 1 Samuel 16:7. There is also a warning wrapped in hope. Though you are late, the door is not yet closed. Mercy still speaks, calling sleepers to awaken. Awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and light shall shine upon thee. Ephesians 5:14. Awakening is not an emotional moment. It is a decision followed by discipline. It requires laying aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles. Hebrews 12:1. Weight is not always wickedness. Sometimes it is distraction, comfort, or misplaced priority. Do not mistake patience for approval. The long-suffering of the Lord is meant to lead to repentance, not complacency. Romans 2:4. History testifies that warning always precedes shaking. When rain had not yet fallen, the ark was still being built. The door remained open, but only for a time. Genesis 7:1-16. The emergency is not announced to terrify, but to prepare. Preparation requires urgency, and urgency demands action now, not later. You were chosen to stand in a moment like this, where truth must be lived and not merely spoken. Faith without works is declared lifeless. James 2:17. Prayer without obedience becomes noise. Knowledge without transformation becomes pride. The chosen one aligns belief with behavior, knowing that the word is a lamp to the feet, not a decoration for the shelf. Psalm 19:5. Walking requires movement, and movement requires decision. Even now, there is a quiet resistance in many hearts. Comfort argues against obedience, fear argues against courage, and familiarity argues against change. Yet the word reminds us that the Lord has not given a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Soundness of mind discerns the hour and responds appropriately. Power is given for witness, and love is expressed through sacrifice. This emergency is personal. It reaches beyond crowds and speaks directly to you. The chosen one cannot hide among numbers or assume someone else will respond. When the call came, each was required to answer individually. Here am I, send me was spoken by one who understood the weight of the moment. Isaiah 6:8. That response did not come from ease, but from revelation. Revelation changes posture, and posture determines direction. If you feel unsettled, that stirring is not condemnation, it is conviction. Conviction is evidence of care. Silence would be more dangerous. The Spirit searches hearts and reveals what must be realigned. Psalm 139:23-24. Alignment is urgent because misalignment affects not only you but those connected to your obedience. Generations are influenced by the choices made in high D-den moments. Do not underestimate the consequence of awakening late yet still rising. Those who came at the 11th hour were still welcomed into the work, though the day was nearly spent. Matthew 20:6-9. Grace allows entry, but urgency remains because daylight fades. The chosen one works while it is day, understanding that night comes when work cannot be done. John 9:4. This understanding fuels diligence, not despair. There is more at stake than personal destiny. Souls are searching, truth is contested, and deception is subtle. The word warns that even the elect could be deceived if vigilance is lost. Matthew 2:24. Watchfulness is not paranoia, it is disciplined awareness. Prayer sharpens sight, and obedience strengthens discernment. Without these, delay becomes dangerous. So hear this as a call, not a condemnation. Rise, even if you rise trembling. Move, even if clarity comes step by step. Trust that obedience releases provision and that faith grows through action. Remember that the Lord finishes what he begins. Philippians 1:6. But finishing requires participation. You are late, yes, but you are still called, still seen, still summoned to stand, to speak, to live with urgency because the time is pressing and the purpose remains unfinished. And even now the voice continues to call you forward, urging you to lay aside hesitation, to realign your heart, to listen more closely, and to prepare for what comes next as the moment unfolds and the weight of this calling company continues to press upon your spirit, drawing you deeper into awareness, into obedience, and into the next step that is about to be revealed. The pressing nature of this call does not fade with repetition. It intensifies as understanding grows. The more you perceive what is at stake, the heavier the responsibility becomes. Awareness is not a gift given for admiration but for action. When truth is revealed, neutrality disappears. Silence becomes a choice, and delay becomes a decision. The chosen one does not live unaware of consequence. The Word has always taught that to know what is right and fail to do it is counted as transgression. James 4:17. This is why the urgency will not loosen its grip, because knowledge has already been granted. There are moments when heaven interrupts routine not to disrupt peace, but to restore order. Many mistake divine interruption as inconvenience, yet interruption is often protection. When the path ahead carries unseen danger, mercy reroutes. When complacency settles in, urgency shakes. The voice that calls now is not unfamiliar. It has spoken before in quieter ways, through conviction, through scripture, through circumstances you could not ignore. Still, you hesitated, reasoning instead of responding. Reasoning feels safe, but obedience is what moves mountains. Matthew 17:20. The chosen one learns that faith is not proven in declarations, but in decisions. Words are easy in private spaces, but choices reveal allegiance. When faced with comfort, RT or obedience, the heart is exposed. The Word reminds us that no one can serve two masters without eventually loving one and despising the other. Matthew 6:24. Divided devotion weakens urgency. Clarity comes when surrender is complete. You may feel the weight of past delay pressing on your conscience. Regret whispers that you have missed too much time, squandered too many opportunities. Yet the same Word that warns also restores. Years eaten by destruction are not beyond repair when repentance is genuine. Joel 2:25. Restoration does not erase responsibility, but it renews strength. Strength is needed now, because the road ahead requires endurance, not enthusiasm. Endurance is built through perseverance in obedience when emotion fades. Hebrews 10:36. There is a reason the call is personal. Crowds can applaud, but only individuals obey. History remembers those who responded when others hesitated. They were not stronger or wiser by nature, they were willing. Willingness opens the door for grace to operate fully. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. Isaiah 1:19. Willingness moves first, provision follows. The chosen one must also understand that awakening brings opposition. Resistance is not proof of error, but often confirmation of direction. The Word makes it clear that those who live faithfully will face trials. 2 Timothy 3:12. Trials refine focus, stripping away dependence on approval and anchoring confidence in truth. When urgency is our EL, approval becomes secondary to obedience. Do not underestimate the power of small acts done promptly. Great outcomes are often born from simple obedience. A step taken in faith releases momentum. The Word declares that whoever is faithful in little is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Delay often disguises itself as waiting for something bigger, yet faithfulness in the present moment prepares you for greater responsibility. The emergency is not waiting for ideal conditions, it demands response now. There is also a deeper call to discernment. Not every voice that speaks loudly carries truth. The urgency of this moment requires careful listening, testing every spirit against what has already been written. 1 John 4:1. Discernment guards against panic while sustaining urgency. Panic rushes blindly. Urgency moves deliberately. The chosen one is not driven by fear, but guided by wisdom from above, which is pure, peaceable, and full of good fruit. James 3:17. As awareness sharpens, priorities must shift. What once consumed time may now feel empty. This is not loss, it is alignment. When the heart is set on eternal purpose, temporary distractions lose their grip. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Colossians 3:2. Affection shapes attention, and attention shapes action. Action reveals devotion. You were never meant to walk this path relying on your own strength. The call comes with provision, though provision often appears after obedience begins. This is why trust is essential. The Word teaches that the just live by faith. Habakkuk 2:4. Faith does not require full visibility. It requires confidence in the one who sees all. Each step taken in obedience clarifies the next. The emergency also calls for separation, not isolation, but distinction. Being set apart does not mean withdrawal from the world, but refusal to be shaped by it. Transformation occurs through renewal of the mind, not conformity to surrounding patterns. Romans 12:2. Renewal takes effort and intentionality. Without it, urgency fades into routine, and calling becomes commentary instead of commission. There is a cost to responding now, and it would be dishonest to deny it. Obedience often requires releasing what feels secure. Yet the Word assures that whatever is surrendered for the sake of the call is never truly lost. Mark 10:29-30. Loss in the natural often produces gain in the eternal. The chosen one measures value differently, understanding that unseen rewards outweigh visible comfort. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Do not allow the weight of responsibility to harden your heart. Urgency must be carried with humility. Pride resists correction. Humility welcomes refinement. The Word reminds us that grace is given to the humble. James 4:6. Grace is essential now, not only for strength, but for clarity. Without grace, urgency turns into burden. With grace, urgency becomes purpose. There is also a communal dimension to this call, though obedience is perso. Now, impact is collective. Your response affects those watching, whether you realize it or not. Faith lived openly strengthens others to respond. The word encourages believers to provoke one another to love and good works. Hebrews 10:24. Provocation here is not conflict, but inspiration through example. As you move forward, expect moments of doubt. Doubt does not disqualify. Surrender to doubt does. When questions arise, return to what has been written. The word is anchored, unchanging, and sufficient for instruction and correction. 2 Timothy 3:16. Emotion fluctuates, truth remains. The chosen one builds on truth, not feeling. There is an urgency to speak as well as to act. Silence in the face of truth can become complicity. The word declares that the message is entrusted, not owned. 2 Corinthians 5:19-20. Stewardship requires sharing. This does not mean shouting without wisdom, but speaking with courage when opportunity comes. Courage grows with obedience, not before it. Do not wait for perfect confidence. Confidence often follows obedience rather than preceding it. When the step is taken, assurance grows. The word reminds us that the Lord goes before and makes the way straight. Deuteronomy 31:8. Knowing this frees you from paralysis. Movement, even imperfect, is better than stillness rooted in fear. The emergency also exposes false security. Structures that once felt stable may begin to shake. This shaking is purposeful, revealing what is built on solid foundation and what is not. Hebrews 12:27. The chosen one builds on the rock, not on shifting ground. Foundations are tested under pressure, and urgency presses for inspection now, not later. There is still time, but it is measured. Time is no longer abundant, it is intentional. Redeeming the time becomes essential because days are described as evil, filled with distraction and deception. Ephesians 5:16. Redemption of time requires discernment of priority. What once filled hours must now submit to purpose. The call is not to isolation but to alignment. Those who walk this path find others who recognize the same urgency. Unity forms around truth, not convenience. The word speaks of harmony among those who walk together in purpose. Psalm 133:1. Such unity strengthens resolve and sustains momentum. Remember that obedience is not always loud. Faithfulness in unseen places carries great weight. The word assures that what is done in secret is seen and rewarded openly. Matthew 6:4. This truth guards against discouragement when recognition is absent. The chosen one seeks approval from heaven, not applause from people. As the urgency continues to press, there will be moments when weariness attempts to slow you. Weariness is not failure, surrender to it is. Strength is renewed for those who wait rightly, not passively, but with trust and expectation. Isaiah 40:31. Waiting in this sense is active reliance, not delay. The emergency also refines motives. Why you respond matters as much as that. You respond. Obedience driven by fear differs from obedience rooted in love. Love endures, while fear eventually exhausts. The word declares that perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:18. Let love anchor urgency, so that action flows from devotion, not dread. You are being shaped even now by how you respond to this call. Each decision either sharpens or dulls sensitivity. Sensitivity to the Spirit is cultivated through consistent obedience. When ignored, discernment weakens. This is why immediate response matters. Hardened hearts are not formed suddenly, but through repeated delay. Hebrews 3:15. The chosen one understands that this path is not about personal elevation, but faithful service. Greatness is measured through humility and willingness to serve. Matthew 20:26. Service does not always align with recognition, yet it aligns with purpose. Purpose fuels perseverance when motivation wanes. There is still more to be revealed, but revelation follows obedience. Light is given for the next step, not the entire journey. Trust grows through walking, not standing still. The Word assures that guidance comes as paths are acknowledged. Proverbs 3:5-6. Acknowledgement requires submission. As you continue forward, remember that urgency does not negate rest. True rest is found in obedience, not avoidance. Rest comes from alignment with purpose, not escape from responsibility. The Word speaks of a rest that remains for those who walk in faith, Hebrews 4:9-10. This rest strengthens, rather than weakens resolve. The call remains active, persistent, and unmistakable. It will not fade because it is tied to purpose that must be fulfilled. You are being invited to participate, not observe. Participation requires courage, humility, and action now. The moment continues to unfold, the weight continues to press, and the path continues to open step by step as you listen, respond, and move forward into what is being revealed, allowing urgency to shape your obedience. Obedience to shape your character, and character to shape the impact that will flow from your life as the call deepens and the next layer of responsibility begins to emerge before you in real time, inviting you to respond again without delay. What unfolds next is not a softer message but a clearer one. Clarity often feels heavier than mystery because it removes excuses. Once the way is illuminated, wandering becomes a choice. The chosen one learns that clarity is a gift that carries accountability. To whom much is given, much shall be required. Luke 12:48. This requirement is not meant to crush but to focus. Focus narrows the path and removes distractions that once seemed harmless. The urgency you feel is not external pressure alone, it is internal alignment taking place. When the Spirit aligns with truth, delay feels uncomfortable. Comfort in disobedience is a sign of dullness, not peace. True peace accompanies obedience even when circumstances are uncertain. The Word speaks of a peace that surpasses understanding, guarding the heart and mind, Philippians 4:7. That peace is not found in avoidance but in agreement with purpose. You may notice that what once satisfied now feels insufficient. This is not ingratitude, it is growth. Appetite changes when maturity increases. The Word speaks of moving from milk to solid food as understanding deepens, Hebrews 5:14. Solid food strengthens for responsibility. Responsibility is necessary now because the season demands discernment, courage, and consistency. There is also an exposure taking place. Hidden motives rise to the surface under urgency. This is not to shame, but to purify. Fire reveals what is genuine and what is temporary. 1 Corinthians 3:13. The chosen one allows this process, trusting that refinement produces endurance and clarity. Resistance to refinement prolongs struggle. Surrender accelerates growth. As the call continues, you may feel isolated even among familiar faces. This is not abandonment, it is differentiation. When direction shifts, alignment changes. Those walking a different pace may no longer feel close. The word reminds us that walking together requires agreement. Amos 3:3. Agreement does not always mean identical paths, but shared commitment to truth. Even so, moments of solitude are often necessary to hear clearly. The emergency also challenges identity. Many have defined themselves by roles, titles, or seasons that have already passed. Yet identity rooted in assignment will always feel unstable. Their true identity is anchored in being, not doing. Ye are a chosen generation is a declaration of identity before function, 1 Peter 2:9. From identity flows obedience, not the other way around. There will be temptation to look back, to measure progress against others, or to compare journeys. Comparison distorts urgency by shifting focus outward. The word encourages each to work out their own calling with reverence and diligence. Philippians 2:12. Your obedience is not validated by another's pace. Faithfulness is measured individually. The chosen one must also learn to guard the heart diligently. What you allow to dwell there will influence response. Fear, offense, and bitterness slow obedience. The word instructs us to guard the heart above all else because it shapes the course of life. Proverbs 4:23. Guarding requires intentional choices about what you entertain, believe, and rehearse. As urgency sharpens, prayer deepens. Prayer is no longer routine but reliance. It becomes conversation rather than performance. The word assures that those who seek sincerely will find. Jeremiah 2:9-13. Seeking clarifies direction and strengthens resolve. Without prayer, urgency becomes anxiety. With prayer, urgency becomes confidence anchored in trust. You may begin to sense that the call involves sacrifice that cannot be delegated. Some assignments cannot be passed to others. This is not because others are unwilling, but because obedience is personal. When the call came to step out of the boat, it was not extended to all at once. Matthew 14:29. One responded, and that response changed him forever. Obedience alters identity through experience. Do not be surprised if resistance comes from unexpected places. Familiar voices may question urgency, urging moderation where obedience is required. Even well-meaning counsel must be weighed against what has been clearly revealed. The word teaches that obedience to the call must come before pleasing people. Galatians 1:10. Discernment is essential now, because not every calming voice carries truth. The emergency also refines trust in provision. Moving forward often reveals needs you cannot meet alone. This is intentional. Dependence cultivates humility and faith. The word declares that provision follows obedience, not the reverse. Matthew 6:33. Seeking first aligns priorities and releases what is necessary to continue. There is a deeper invitation here, one that goes beyond action into transformation. Obedience reshapes desires over time. What once felt like sacrifice begins to feel like privilege. The word describes delight in the law of the Lord as a source of stability and fruitfulness. Psalm 1:2-3. Delight grows as alignment deepens. As the journey continues, you may encounter moments of silence. Silence does not mean absence. Often, silence is space given for application. The word does not always speak new instruction when old instruction has not yet been obeyed. Faithfulness in silence prepares you to hear again. Be still and know is both instruction and invitation. Psalm 46:10. Urgency also demands integrity. Private life must align with public confession. Hypocrisy weakens discernment and dulls urgency. The word calls for truth in the inward parts. Psalm 51:6. Integrity may feel costly, but it preserves clarity. Without integrity, urgency becomes performative rather than transformative. There is also a call to perseverance. Initial momentum may fade, but commitment must remain. The word encourages endurance, reminding us that the crown is promised to those who remain faithful. James 1:12. Perseverance is not dramatic. It is consistent obedience over time. It is choosing faithfulness when enthusiasm fades. The chosen one also learns to forgive quickly. Offense is a heavy weight that slows progress. The word is clear that forgiveness is not optional but essential. Matthew 6:14-15. Forgiveness frees the heart to respond without hindrance. Bitterness clouds discernment and drains strength. As you move forward, expect growth to be incremental. Sudden transformation is rare. Sustained obedience produces lasting change. The word compares growth to planting and watering, trusting that increase comes from the Lord. 1 Corinthians 3:6. Patience is required, but patience does not negate urgency. Both can coexist. The emergency also redefines success. Success is no longer measured by visibility, but by faithfulness. The word affirms that stewards are required to be found faithful, not impressive. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Faithfulness may go unnoticed by many, but it is recorded eternally. There may be moments when obedience feels costly beyond expectation. In those moments, remember that obedience is never wasted. The word assures that labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Even when results are unseen, obedience shapes character and advances purpose in ways not immediately visible. The chosen one must also embrace correction. Correction is not rejection, it is refinement. The word teaches that those loved are disciplined for growth. Hebrews 12:6. Receiving correction with humility accelerates maturity. Resisting it prolongs struggle. Urgency sharpens listening. Listening requires silence, stillness, and submission. The word reminds us that guidance comes when we acknowledge direction rather than leaning on understanding alone. Proverbs 3:5. Understanding grows through obedience, not argument. You may find that the call requires letting go of old narratives about yourself. Labels assigned by failure, fear, or others must be released. Identity rooted in calling transcends past mistakes. The word declares that if anyone is in the Lord, they are a new creation. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Newness invites forward movement, not backward fixation. As urgency continues, compassion must increase. Urgency without compassion becomes harsh. Compassion without urgency becomes passive. The word models both, showing concern for people while calling them to transformation. Matthew 9:36. Compassion motivates action, not delay. The emergency is also a reminder that time is a stewarded resource. Hours, attention, and energy are entrusted, not owned. The word encourages wisdom in numbering days. Psalm 9:12. Wisdom directs effort toward what lasts. You are being trained through obedience. Training often feels repetitive and demanding, yet training prepares for responsibility. The word uses the imagery of discipline producing righteousness over time. Hebrews 12:11. Righteousness here is alignment with purpose, not mere rule-keeping. As you continue, expect moments when clarity returns with greater depth. Each layer of obedience reveals another. This unfolding is intentional, preventing overwhelm while cultivating trust. The word assures that guidance is progressive, like a path that shines brighter with movement, Proverbs 4:18. The call remains active, persistent, and personal. It does not depend on feeling ready, it depends on willingness. Willingness opens the way for strength, insight, and provision to follow. Even now, the urgency continues to shape your awareness, refine your focus, and press you toward the next step, calling you to remain attentive, responsive, and obedient as the unfolding purpose continues to reveal itself moment by moment, drawing you further into alignment with what has been set before you and preparing you for what is still ahead without pause or retreat. As the weight of this calling continues to deepen and the journey moves forward without conclusion. This is the moment where the call becomes unmistakable, and the decision can no longer be deferred. The urgency you have felt is not meant to overwhelm you, but to awaken you, because the time appointed is now, and the invitation still stands. The word has been spoken, the warning has been sounded, and the path has been revealed clearly enough for the next step to be taken. You were not awakened to observe, but to respond, not to hesitate, but to move, knowing that obedience today carries weight far beyond what can be seen. Today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, Hebrews 3:15. Let this be the moment where delay ends, where surrender replaces resistance, and where faith steps forward with resolve. The chosen one does not wait for certainty to appear, but walks trusting that light will meet each step taken in obedience. Remember that you are not alone, not forgotten, and not disqualified by past delay, for mercy has kept the door open and grace supplies what obedience requires. Rise with clarity, walk with humility, stand with courage, and remain faithful as the days unfold, knowing that what is done in response to this call will echo beyond time, bearing fruit in ways only eternity will fully reveal.